Hello, plinkers and tinkerers. Alright, so today I'm going to show you how I go about modding a barrel to fit into the Crosman AR platform. The reason I mod the barrels to fit my platform and not play around with anything on the Crosman is because I prefer to be able to always disassemble and reassemble my builds. If I, for whatever reason, want to go back or change things up, then I can always go back to the original Crosman barrel and my parts for the Crosman will not be damaged. For instance, in this mod, you might want to uh, say if you buy a barrel and it's thicker, the diameter is bigger than the Crosman barrel, then you might be tempted to drill out the bore in this the rubber chamber part. Uh, I don't recommend doing that because once that bore is opened, then it's forever. You can't go back. You'll never be able to put another Crossman in, or if you, for whatever reason, you change your build or go to another barrel, you will not be able. You'll have to tinker with it again. So that's that's why I recommend whatever barrel you find to increase the length. Uh, Always modify your part to fit the Crossman and try not to damage your Crossman to fit the part. Anyways, all right. So uh, the first barrel I cut was this one, and hopefully your end result doesn't look like this. And this is not for a Crossman. This was for uh, my marksman repeater that I got when in the 80s when I was a kid. Um, Original OG Huntington Beach marksman repeater. By getting this guy in there, see, it was fitted about right here. I turned the range from 5 feet to 15 feet on this guy. So that was fun, but that's not the point of the video. So in my SAS build, I didn't cut the barrel. I have the full length 20-inch Crosman 1077 barrel. And in my M4A1 build, I cut the barrel to 14.5 inches to be as full mil spec as I could. And both of them, I did modify the end of my barrel to fit the rubber bushing. So, yeah, I think I pretty much covered everything. Without further ado, here's my procedure of how I went about modifying your barrel to fit your Crosman. And yeah, if I missed anything or if you have any questions, don't hesitate to put it in the comments, guys. So here it is, a few clips of me going through the entire procedure. So here's my rendition of the classic homemade mini lathe setup. I got a clamp for my drill. I got a clamp to just to shim and hold my barrel steady at the other end. I got another adjustable C-clamp so that I can actuate the trigger. Classic setup. It's not that hard to do. You're gonna need a reel file. If you got a reel file, a nice wire brush to keep it clean, a caliper, because I would highly recommend that you make this a precision job. Any leaks, any weird shape, if you go too far, it's gonna be loose. If you don't go far enough, you're gonna squeeze the bore in this little rubber thingy, and you might deform the rubber. So a nice setup. Make sure the barrel is level. I always like to make it perpendicular also, so that when you're working with your file, you only have to focus on keeping your file straight and letting the file do the job. You don't want to worry about holding your file crooked because your barrel's crooked, and then if anything's crooked, you're just lining up to do a crappy job. So take the time needed to make sure everything's flat and level. Once you're ready to go, you just hold your file on the end here and let the lathe and the file do the work. I'll do a couple of inserts as I go along the way. Stay tuned. Alright, so here is about maybe after approximately, I'd say, no more than 10 minutes of filing. I did stop a couple of times to clean my file and to let the barrel cool down, let the metal cool down. So I just got to the point where I got rid of this lip up here. Now we're down to about 6.5 millimeters diameter. So now as we keep on going, we only have 0.5 millimeter left left to file away. That means only 1/4 millimeter on each side. So from now on, we need to really make sure that the file stays flat, and you don't want to go past 5.98 millimeters. If you go past 5.98 millimeters, this is going to be loose inside that rubber barrel chamber. So stay tuned. We're back after another 10 minutes-ish of filing. Once you got this down to approximately 6 millimeters diameter, maybe 5.99, 5.98, you take a fine piece of sandpaper and you just file off the edge. You round it off a bit to eliminate any potential cutting surface, because it might ruin the rubber bushing. So because this is not a Crosman barrel and we will not be able to use the barrel shims at the end of the muzzle device, we will want to prevent your barrel from slipping and sliding back and forth. And we're going to use the groove right here. You see where I made this Sharpie mark? We're going to use that groove. My trick, at least, is I'm going to get a thick O-ring. I'm going to make a groove with the same file. I'm going to make a groove for my O-ring. And then once that O-ring's popped on there, it's going to make a nice I but yet flexible, kind of flexible anchor point for the barrel. When I say a thickish O-ring, this is what I mean. See, I'm going to be using this guy. Just going to make a groove where my Sharpie line is, and I'm going to pop this O-ring there. See you later. Alright, so that's what your dimple is going to look like. There we go. Get in focus. So just an extra little dimple. I'm going to wait till it cools down, and then I'm going to put a drop of silicone oil just to help it slip over this neck. And once this O-ring is in, it should be a really nice fit into that slot. Be right back. And this is what the final product should look like. We got a nice snug fit. Nothing's torqued. Like I didn't put any metal washers. Nothing's gonna torque. Everything is gonna be centered. And there is no wobble. So we can go ahead and reassemble this. Everything else is just gonna click right into place.